So I'm a pretty big fan of Power Rangers. I've seen, Cotton Candy 903 says, I saw a guy trying his best to imitate Logic and he couldn't get the mannerisms right. You know. I've seen a lot of the seasons of Power Rangers. There's obviously a cutoff point where I stopped watching it, like as a kid, or even as a teen, because I continued to watch it longer than most people, I think. Power Rangers seasons. Let me see where I stopped watching. I'm gonna try and give my, like, Power Rangers cred to try and gauge how much Power Rangers I've watched, so you know I'm not just some rando, like, talking about this, okay? Watched all of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, saw the little mini-series Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, Power Rangers Zeo, Turbo, In Space, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, Wild Force, Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder. So, Dino Thunder is the last season I watched when it was on, which was 2004, so I was, let's see, I was only 10, wow, I guess I thought I still watched it later than that. I watched reruns later on, like on TV and stuff, of ones I'd already watched, but like I've never seen SPD or Mystic Force or Operation Overdrive or Jungle Fury or RPM. I've never seen Power Rangers. I mean, I've seen 1 or 2 episodes of Samurai, actually. I did, because that was when it, like, Saban bought it back. And I've seen a couple episodes of Power Rangers Mega Force because I was interested, because that's the season where they, like, have the Power Rangers Mega Battle thing where all the Power Rangers are together. I think I watched, like, an episode of Dino Charge, but I haven't really seen past Dino Thunder. That's the last one I watched when it was on the air. So I know a decent bit about Power Rangers. I don't know the most. For that, you're going to want to look to someone like Linkara, who's watched like every episode of every season and he knows his stuff. But I know enough about Power Rangers that I think I can talk about it competently.
A couple years ago, we got a really crappy Power Rangers movie that was absolute just trash, garbage.
I don't know about that one. I get it. Here's the thing. The Power Rangers movie that we got like 3 or 4 years ago, which was like a reboot, it was supposed to be like a retelling of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The movie itself is okay. I liked the characters. I liked what they did with like the team and their camaraderie. What I didn't like was all the production design, right? Alpha 5 looked stupid. The Power Rangers outfits looked really, really stupid. The Megazord looked stupid. All that stuff was bad. But, like, the person that got to play Rita, I think, did a good job. All the Power Rangers themselves, I thought, were, like, characters that you liked. I don't know. I liked it. It's not perfect, but I wanted to see a sequel so they could iron out some of the issues that were there. Catalina Gearbox. Doomcock is like my reject Cyberman from Doctor Who. Tucker White 24 with a bit. I forgot that that movie existed. I paid to see that ad for Krispy Kreme. Yes, and they used the Krispy Kreme thing a lot at the end. I know.
Garbage, but it wasn't really for woke reasons necessarily. It was more so just because the story was really crappy and the characters were really crappy. But now we are getting a reboot, another reboot already for Power Rangers, and apparently it looks like we are going to be getting some woke nonsense in this one, which is great. So they just swapped out crappy storytelling and characters for woke crap, which is awesome.
You understand that most Power Rangers teams have been majority men, so if this one happens to be majority female, it wouldn't be woke. It would be fine. Who cares?
I love it. I love it. I love it. Apparently Hollywood can't do anything right anymore. Apparently Hollywood is just garbage at everything that they do. So well done on that, Hollywood. So Power Rangers reboot reportedly features a majority female team.
Like, the fact that you read that and you think woke automatically is weird to me. The majority of Power Rangers teams have usually been men, and when I say usually, I mean I think always. I don't know if there's ever been a Power Rangers team that's majority women. Like, wouldn't it stand to reason that at some point the people who get picked to be Power Rangers, more of them would be women? Like, I'm not saying every time, but statistically, you'd think about 50% of the time it would just shake out that way. Does it matter?
Now, I don't really necessarily have a problem with this, but
really? You're making an 8-minute video about it. Seems like you care. Tucker White 24. So basically this reboot is going to be Bubblegum Crisis.
But if this is
not familiar,
literally like the first type of stuff that we are getting about this movie, then we already know where their priorities are at with this film. Their priorities aren't with trying to make a good story or make good...
I mean, this looks like a rumor thing from some website. This wasn't like a press release as far as I know.
Characters, their priority is pushing identity politics.
Get your politics out of my Power Rangers. There are two genders. Men and political.
So, great. Awesome. Oh man. So 2017's Power Rangers was supposed to usher in a new era of the beloved franchise. Hopes were high prior to the film's release, with the trailers at least promising some impressive visual effects and the sequels already being planned. But then it crashed and burned at the box office, making just $142 million on a budget of $105 million, which is yikes. That's a big yikes.
Honestly, it wouldn't have even mattered. And when Power Rangers came out, a little bit after that, or a little bit before that, I worked at, well, no, it was probably a while before that. Anyway, there used to be a Toys R Us in town. I worked at it for a little while, but I don't think it was at the same time that this Power Rangers came out. But I did go to Toys R Us relatively often because I like to buy, you know, collectibles and stuff. I think that stuff's fun. Like, I have all the Marvel prop replica stuff that they used to sell at Toys R Us, and they have, you can buy them at like GameStop now and stuff, but whatever. One time I went there and there was an aisle full of like nothing but leftover toys from this Power Rangers reboot, and I think part of the reason it did so bad was the suit designs. Power Rangers movie. Like, if you haven't seen Power Rangers, you might not get this, but the suit designs for this Power Rangers movie were just atrocious. They look awful, and it might be one thing if they were trying to be their own version of Power Rangers, but they're supposed to be like a remake of the Mighty Morphin Team, right? And this is like the movie version from the 90s of the Mighty Morphin Team. If they'd gone for something more like this, I think people would have seen it more, and I think more people would have bought the toys for the new movie. Like, I'm a huge Power Rangers fan, and I didn't buy a single toy for this thing, because the designs are terrible. It looks like they watched Michael Bay's Transformers, and they're like, yeah, do that, but with Power Rangers. All the production design was a mistake. Like, all of it. Power Rangers, suit concept. Let me see if I can find, like, a good DeviantArt concept or something like this. This would have been a pretty good move for, like, the movie suits. It's reminiscent of the Mighty Morphin Team. It still looks like it. Oh, God. Ad. But, like, it's got a movie look, right? Looks a little bit different. If they'd gone for something like this, and this was in the trailers, I think more people would have been into the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. But as it stands, they just looked really stupid. And I say that, like, even by Power Rangers standards. And Power Rangers look ridiculous. I fully admit that. But that's part of the fun. It's like a silly, campy, like, show from Japan that they take and re-edit with American footage to turn it into an American show. It's a silly show, and that's fine. But, like, it's almost like they were embarrassed they were making a Power Rangers movie, and that's not how you should go about things.
And it just wasn't really that good. Whatever the case, Hasbro feels that they've learned from their mistakes and can do better. So, you know what? If it failed, what's the next step? Go woke, right? Because anything that goes woke never goes broke, right?
I mean, Captain Marvel, according to you guys, was the biggest example of get woke, go broke, and that movie is the 23rd highest grossing movie of all time, and it made over $1 billion. Black Panther, a lot of you people also said that would get woke and go broke, and it was a cultural phenomenon. Like, why do they think this get woke, go broke thing has been demonstrably shown to be true 100% of the time? It hasn't. The times where there have been movies that they say get woke, go broke, where they failed, are always circumstances where the movie itself is bad. Ghostbusters 2016. I think that movie isn't funny. I think that movie's bad. Its badness is completely different from the fact that it's all women in the movie. It's just a bad movie that happens to star women. Like, I don't understand this idea that somehow the wokeness, and by wokeness they usually mean, like, women or people of color being involved in the production, somehow dooms a movie when it's not the case. Wonder Woman, another movie starring a woman, directed by a woman, did fine, did very well.
That never happens.
Tucker White 24, aren't people like this guy the same people who mocked the left for their snowflakes? How do you get this worked up over an all-female Power Rangers and not have any self-awareness? It's not even all-female, it just says majority female. So, like, there are usually 5 Power Rangers and then they add a 6th Ranger later, like the Green Ranger or the White Ranger. But in this, so there might be 3 women and 2 men, or maybe even 4 women and a man, right? Like, who would care? It's Power Rangers, man. It doesn't matter.
Never happens. Right now, they're cooking up a relaunch of the franchise, and our sources have told us they're planning to mix up the gender balance of the team. Yeah! Brave and beautiful, everyone. Brave and beautiful. Though there have been many incarnations of the Power Rangers over the years, the classic Mighty Morphin Power Rangers team is most fondly remembered. The squad featured 3 boys and 2 girls, but apparently that is bad. That is very, very bad. That's a no-no. That's not enough women. So,
dude, it doesn't matter, right? Just because there's gonna be an extra woman doesn't mean, and look, it even says all they're gonna change is the Red Ranger will be a woman instead of a dude. So it's gonna be a team with 3 girls and 2 boys. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Why do you care? It's not even an all-woman team, and even if it was, fine. Who cares? It's Power Rangers. They say it's morphin time and beat up Japanese monsters. Like, what? Does it matter?
But the reboot will alter the balance by making the Red Ranger a girl, meaning we'll get a team with 3 girls and 2 boys. Wow! So stunning, so brave.
Dude, no one said it's stunning and brave. This is the shit that I hate about South Park. Douchebags like this then quote it like it's gospel, and because, like, South Park made a specific joke about a specific thing, they're like, I can apply this to everything now, and if I quote South Park, it'll make me look like a big brain boy. And it's so stupid.
This only slightly affects the overall composition of the team. It should make a difference to the film's feel, as the Red Ranger is traditionally the group's leader. So now they're making the leader a female, because apparently you can't have dudes.
Catalina Gearbox for $5. I want to be the first gay Power Ranger, and he would be purple.
That's not equality. I don't know. I don't understand the logic behind this.
I think there has been a purple Ranger. Yeah, okay. Purple Ranger. This one. And this one. These ones.
I just don't. But I think that they're really just doing this because Hollywood just continues to think, for some reason, I don't know how they manage to continue to be this stupid, that if they just push this woke type of nonsense out.
Dude, why is it woke? Specifically, explain to me why you think it's woke for one of the Power Rangers to be a woman that wasn't prior. What makes that woke? Because it's a woman? Dude, it's just having a woman as the leader instead of a dude. Every Power Rangers team has been led by a dude. Why not mix it up? That doesn't necessarily make it woke. It's just different.
Out there, they're going to get tons of support in the theaters. And it's just not the case. Okay? It's just not the case. People are tired of this. People are tired of the identity politics. People are tired.
Not necessarily. I mean, you guys have been tired of it since, like, day one, but you've always have been, because things before identity politics always centered around you. So I get that. It's selfish and childish, but I get it. But at the end of the day, like, you're sick of it, but you always have been. You're not a gauge of if the general public is sick of understanding, like, oh, there are people other than straight white dudes out there. Maybe they should also be shown in media.
Of the political agendas that are being pushed in our entertainment. She won't be the first female Red Ranger in the franchise, though, as the 2012 show of Power Rangers, which nobody cares about, so good job on that.
I mean, dude, you don't care about it because you're not 8 years old. I'm sure plenty of kids, like, enjoyed... What was the Power Rangers in 2012? Excuse me. Samurai. In Power Rangers Samurai, apparently at some point there's a female Red Ranger or something, because they said in 2012. Although this one looks like a dude, so maybe it's just like a special thing or something. Female Red Ranger. So there was a female Red Ranger in Samurai at some point. It looks like, oh, I can't show this. Saban's really, really choosy about like clips and stuff, and I don't want to get demonetized. So it's not even like a new thing. Who cares? Tetsuyo dragged Neil with 5 bits. There's been a female Red Ranger leader, a female Pink leader, a female White Ranger leader. It's not a new concept for Super Sentai, and even if it was, there's no issue. Right, that's what I'm feeling. It doesn't... Go look at Sushi Mom's message where she linked a video of some dude saying she doesn't help anyone. Oh god, how far back is it? I don't see a link. Link it again, I guess? But I'm doing this video right now, so I can do it later.
And then, apparently, that's not the only bit of news. The other bit of news is that the Power Rangers reboot will reportedly make Blue Ranger the G in the alphabet. That is right.
Okay.
Wow. So stunning, everyone.
Dude, like, why wouldn't there be a gay Blue Ranger? Do you understand that, for one thing, especially if it's, like, based on Mighty Morphin again, David Yost, who played Billy, the Blue Ranger, the original Blue Ranger, you might recognize him, Billy Yost. He was named Billy, by the way, after Bryan Cranston, because Bryan Cranston worked on Power Rangers. He did monster voices, if you didn't know that. Anyway, Billy Yost, or David Yost, sorry, Billy was his character, was a gay man. Well, I say was. Is a gay man. And one of the reasons he left Power Rangers because he was bullied by the cast. Or not even by the cast, by the crew. I don't know how the cast felt about him. But the crew bullied him so bad he ended up leaving Power Rangers. And that's why he ended up leaving. Very, very sad stuff. So making the Blue Ranger in the Power Rangers movie gay is a nod to that. So maybe shut your mouth before you think you know what you're talking about Power Rangers.
So stunning. The 2017 Power Rangers film was
Billy Cranston is the full name of the Blue Ranger. He's named after Bryan Cranston.
Not very well received, blah, blah, blah. But that isn't the only changes this new chapter will take. According to our sources, the studio is also planning to make the Blue Ranger, the G, and the alphabet in the upcoming Power Rangers reboot. Wow. So incredibly stunning. Like, seriously, this is just like... This obviously means that automatically the movie's going to be good, right? Because, you know, if you
here he is talking about it.
And I just hope that he keeps the cast around for like maybe 3 seasons and then maybe decides to replace him. It's a good question. It's actually a really serious question for me. So if I cry, I apologize in advance. So yeah, you know, all that me getting old and going off to some foreign planet or something, I don't know. I wasn't there for any of that. I don't know anything about it. I've never watched the episodes, but...
Yeah, when he left, basically they say that Billy... At the point Billy leaves the show, he's no longer a Power Ranger. He's retired being a Power Ranger. He's basically a tech person for the team. So he stays back at the base, and he invents stuff, and he helps, like, manage the Megazord and all that mechanical stuff. At some point, David Yost just disappears from the show, and they come back, and Billy has turned into an old man. It's not played by David Yost, it's a different guy playing old man Billy, and it's explained that this is the side effect of some time shenanigans that happened in a previous season that didn't affect anyone else, but it's now affected Billy. This is a way to get Billy off the show, and cast him as a new person, as a new actor, and explain how they can get rid of him. So then, old Billy goes to Aquitar, which is a different planet, which is where the alien rangers are from, so he can, like, drink from their version of the Fountain of Youth. It turns him back into the right age, but he decides to stay on Aquitar because he has fallen in love with an alien woman there. Which, honestly, the fact that David Yost left the show and just walked off the set one day because he was being harassed so badly because of he was gay, and then making Billy leave the show because he fell in love with a woman, that's pretty fucked up. That's a fucked up thing to do. But anyway, they use, like, stock footage of Billy that they're like, oh, the reception's bad, and they basically have a bad voiceover acting like it's young Billy saying that he's gonna leave. But it's very poorly done.
I walked off set one day during the middle of lunch, during halfway through the day. I just had made a decision. I'd been thinking about it for a good week. And the reason that I walked off is because I was called faggot one too many times. So I had just heard that several times while working on the show from creators, producers, writers, directors. It's not that people can't talk about me and have their opinion about me, but continuing to work in an environment like that is really difficult. And I myself was struggling with who I was or what I was, and to be made fun of on some level, or to be stereotyped or put into a category and sort of saying you're not, basically I just felt like I was continually being told I'm not worthy of where I am.
Tucker White 24 with a bit. So in summation, this guy's argument is, oh lordy lordy, I do declare the Blue Ranger is good for nothing sodomite. Someone fetch my fainting couch, for I have the vapors, basically. Yeah, the Chud guy is basically just mad that a gay character exists.
I am because I'm quote-unquote a gay person and I'm not supposed to be an actor and you can't be a superhero. That's sort of the vibe that I was getting. And I know that my co-stars were called in a couple times to different producers' offices and questioned about my sexuality, which is kind of a humiliating experience to hear that and to find that out. So there was just a lot of issues. It just felt like a bad marriage, and I could either stay and finish 6 more months, do the second movie and finish 6 more months of the show, or just, I don't know, I guess I was kind of worried about my life. I was worried that I might take my own life. So in order for me to get a handle on what was going on, I needed to leave when I left. And so that's sort of why I left the show.
It's effed up. It really is.
The more wokeness you put in a movie, then that just equals quality, right? No, not at all. Not at all. And it's very clear that...
Did I point out, by the way, this guy hasn't levied a single piece of substantive criticism against anything about this. He's just like, what? A woman is the Red Ranger? Oh, a gay ranger? That's an homage to the original actor who was bullied off the set for being gay? It's the most snowflake shit ever. I can't believe these people think people on the left are snowflakes when they can't even handle stuff like this. It's ridiculous.
Since this is like the very first information that we are getting about this film, that this is the type of nonsense that they are trying to push first and foremost into the movie. Now, if they had
this guy made a video on the She-Ra reboot, considering how much of the gay is in it? Probably.
Actually just, you know, made the movie and not had made a big deal about this type of stuff, then there's a chance that the movie could have been good. But when you start to see movies and studios pushing this type of garbage about their movies...
Pushing this type of garbage. Dude, for one thing, this isn't a press release. This is a rumor. This is a rumor that might not even be true, posted to some fan site, and you're like, they're pushing this garbage down my throat. Dude, someone's just like, if this is a legitimate leak, is just saying like, hey... There's talks, and there's gonna be a female Red Ranger leader, and there's gonna be, the Blue Ranger's gonna be gay. Like, okay? That's not being shoved down your throat any more than heteronormativity existing is shoving it down people's throats. It kind of is when that's exclusively all you get. But I don't say, like, oh, the Red Ranger's a man in this. You're shoving, like, the patriarchy down my throat. That's not something I say. So why are you so triggered over the fact that in 1 out of 25 Power Rangers teams to ever exist, there's going to be, like, a female lead? Who cares?
Before the movie has even been really officially had any sort of announcement, then that's just not a good look. And it just means that this is the type of garbage that you want to continue to pursue with the movie that you are making. But not everything will be brand new in the next movie, as there may be a stellar blast from the past for old school fans. Yeah, and obviously not very loyal to the old school fans, because you're already going to be altering stuff that people have been loving for decades now.
Dude, when's the last time you watched an episode of Power Rangers? Legitimately, has it been 20 years? Because I very much doubt you're some diehard fan that cares about the integrity of Power Rangers lore.
Of course, the lack of representation of the alphabet characters in film have been a cause of concern for some time now. Such a concern. Such a concern. But apparently not for Hollywood, because Hollywood continues to push this type of stuff.
Oh no, Hollywood's pushing the reality that women in leadership positions and gay people existing. How dare you push reality down my throat? I want to live in my mom's basement with my Lord of the Rings poster and pretend that it's 1957 and women and gays are told to shut up and like it. Dude, stop. Grow up. We live in a world that's very diverse. It makes sense that movies are going to reflect that diversity.
In ways where they compromise quality of storytelling and of characters. So, you know, I mean, hey, if that's what they want to do, if that's what they want to continue to do, then they can do that all they want. Honestly, I don't really need a new Power Rangers movie anyway, so if this one...
Okay, so then shut the fuck up. Then why do you care? Why do you care? I don't need a new Power Rangers movie anyway. Great. Don't watch it. You're an adult man. Like, who cares?
If one fails too, then I really don't...
No one is telling you have to watch a Power Rangers movie. Like, most people who even liked Power Rangers as a kid, I wouldn't expect to watch a Power Rangers movie as an adult. I get it. Even compared to something like the Marvel movies, Power Rangers is like a kid's franchise. I like it as an adult because of how silly and fun it is, but like, I get it. I totally get it. Power Rangers is aimed at a very young audience, and a lot of the stuff in it is very kitty silly stuff. I don't expect you to enjoy it as an adult. It's shocking that I do, but no one can force you to watch it, and they're not. So maybe stop getting so mad when you realize that they're gonna have one more woman on the team than they usually do. And just chill out and don't watch it if you don't want to.
I don't care. I really don't care if this one fails too. I definitely won't be going to see it if this is the type of nonsense that they're going to be pushing into the film.
Nonsense. Pushing nonsense. Nonsense being a woman is the leader and a gay person existing. Nonsense. That's just the world. That's just reality.
They're literally just changing these things just for the identity politics of it.
Also, I don't think it's gonna be the Mighty Morphin team again. I don't think they're gonna reboot again the Mighty Morphin team. This might be a new team of Power Rangers, and I've heard rumors that they're going to bring back some of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as like a mentor thing. So they'll acknowledge like that other Power Rangers have existed, but this is a new team. That's not trampling on anything. Like, in the first episode of the Power Rangers, Zordon, big, you know, floating head in a tube, says, like, there are, like, multiple rules to being a Power Ranger. Firstly, you mustn't reveal your identities to anyone. You mustn't escalate a battle unless Rita forces your hand. Stuff like that. None of the rules were, and the Red Ranger has to be a man. At no point did Zordon say that.
Yup, no agenda at all. None whatsoever. Wow, they still don't get it. They keep taking properties where the majority fan base is male and putting a feminist spin on it and wondering why it fails. Interesting. Interesting how it continues to fail every time, isn't it?
What did you say about it failing every time? You want to repeat that? How about this one? You want to repeat it here? How about this one? You want to repeat that? Just checking.
Very, very interesting. But yet Hollywood continues to not wake up about this. Even more, the feminist audience themselves don't even support these movies. Exactly. Exactly. Where were all the women that were supposed to go support Charlie's Angels? Where were all...
Dude, I hate when these people bring up Charlie's Angels as an example. Charlie's Angels didn't fail because it was like a female movie and it was like marketing itself on female empowerment. Charlie's Angels failed because no one gives a shit about Charlie's Angels.
All the women that were supposed to go support Birds of Prey. The majority of the audience that
Birds of Prey failed because people are like, is this a sequel to Suicide Squad? Oh, that movie was really bad. The DC movies are bad. I don't want to see this. That would be why. It followed a trend where more or less there's been a downward slope in the box office returns for DC movies because they're almost all bad. Aquaman made some money. Wonder Woman made some money. Shazam made a little money, but it still didn't make that much. It just had a low budget. But overall, if you look at the trend of box office returns for the DC movies, they've gone down and down and down. Except for Joker, which again isn't a DCEU movie. It's its own like standalone thing.
and saw Birds of Prey were still male. Anyway, you know, like, obviously none of this has been officially confirmed.
Yeah, I didn't like Aquaman either. A lot of people said they liked it. I didn't get it. I thought Aquaman sucked just as much as the other DC movies.
Confirmed by the studio, but just keep this in mind as we start to get more information about the Power Rangers reboot that is apparently coming out, the reboot of the reboot, because Hollywood is just trash, and they don't know what they're doing anymore. They don't know how to make things to please the audiences. They don't know how to make things that will actually entertain people.
I mean, Disney's made some of the most profitable movies of all time with the Avengers movies, and even the Star Wars movies that you people decry made millions of dollars, so I don't know about that. I think that's more a Paramount problem, which is the people who own the rights to the movie Power Ranger stuff. Let me see what Paramount movies are coming up. Paramount movies. Let's see. Terminator. All the Terminator sequels are bad. The Cloverfield Paradox, which was so bad it got shuffled to Netflix. They do have the Mission Impossible movies, which a lot of people like. I'm not a fan, but a lot of people like them. The bad Ghost in the Shell movie. The awful Transformers movies, the awful Ninja Turtle movies. Yeah, it seems like the problem is when Paramount tries to do big blockbuster action movies, they put out schlock. That's their problem. Not identity politics. Their problem is that they take cues from Michael Bay's Transformers.
Just focused on their woke garbage, and I'm tired of it. For F's sakes, just tell a good story that respects what came before.
How is having a woman and a gay person on the team, a woman leader and a gay person being on the team, not respecting what came before? Last time I checked, Tommy the White Ranger wasn't going like, white power, and like screaming about, like, we can't have any gays on the team, right, fellas? Kimberly tries to say something and he says, silence, wench! Like, that's not what Power Rangers is like.
Exactly.
You can the implication that you can't tell a good story with a female leader and one gay character is so telling to me of what these people think about, like, women and queer people. Very strange. Tatsuyo drag Neil with 5 bits. I know it's way too soon, but when they eventually make Shuri the new Black Panther, I don't think I'm ready for these people to pretend like they care and complain about how they're disgracing Chadwick by making Black Panther a woman now. Oh yeah, it's gonna be real bad. It's gonna be so bad.
But no one has the drive to respect what came before in Hollywood anymore. We've seen that with so many franchises. We've seen that with Star Wars. We're now seeing that with things like Marvel. Now we're seeing it with Power Rangers. We're probably going to be seeing...
What are you seeing in Marvel that's more woke than it's ever been? Like what? The fact that there are women in superhero movies in leads? That's not woke. How is that woke?
With the Lord of the Rings series, the Amazon's working on as well.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm sick of it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below what you
Love
think.
Yourself 2000. Thanks for following, and Tucker White
Bye.
24 with a bit. What do these guys think a reboot is if nothing's changed? I don't know.
There's nothing funny.